All right.
All right,
Ready when you are,
crystal
Jeremy.
clear. We're on the air. Get it?
Ooh.
Crystal clear, like crystals.
Great.
Last time on Dungeons and Dragons,
Woo!
you guys, the group, what'd you guys call yourself?
Order
The
of the Winter Flower.
Order of the Winterflower. I gotta write that down somewhere. The Order of the Winterflower was in the Ahool caves, and you made a bargain with the leader of the Ahool, and you explained that I should have probably had my book open. And you explained that if you can get more individuals for their blood servants, that they will help you in your attacks against Halath. And then they said yes, and you wanted to. Oh, and they wanted you to help them out with clearing out the Vvor caves deep in their land and territory. So you guys went off into the Vvor caves to find out what was killing the Vvor. As you went down, you figured out that a Vor was killed by some sort of a bludgeoning weapon and pokes and points and stuff like that. You were attacked by a group of poison naga, which you determined did not cause the attacks, so you just killed them and went on your way. As you guys got deeper and deeper, you found what looks to be a section of the underworld covered in light blue crystal, giving off and emanating magical light. You were greeted by a Vvor, a massive, massive creature. That is this creature with multiple crystalline eyes and alien-like body. As you were approached by it, another individual of the colloid came up to you, and they explained that this is a welcome place for all things humanoid. Anyone is welcome. You were invited in, and as you came in, you realized that all these different individuals were covered in crystals, some more than others, some entirely encased and completely alien like in comparison to some of the others. But as you guys went in further on, you were asked by these Colliateur what are you doing here and what they can do to help. They seem to be very much in line with your views. They want to help individuals. They want to help humans, and they believe that undeath and death, undead are the bane of all that exists. You realize that they kind of are sort of hive-mindy, and they explain that they have plans of their own to help overthrow the Melora Gaulian in Halath. And so they explained that if you wanted this information, one of you would have to become part of the colloid in order to share that information with. After a little bit of debate, Morrik stepped up and said he would like to be part of the colloid. As the crystals overtook him, the memories and the thoughts of many, many different individual Colliateur and Colloid individuals flooded him. Now he understands exactly what these individuals are all about. They had provided something called the Vertifact to Halath, to Melora Gaulian, in order to collect souls for their own purpose. People that were going to die, and they wanted to give them another new life. However, unbeknownst to them, Melora Gaulian used her powers to bastardize the crystal, and thus keeping the souls for herself and for her own purposes, to which you do not know. They agreed to help you, and thus have sent you on your way. You will be leaving this area soon, but you are welcome to stay for as long as you want. You also found that one of the inhabitants was an old friend, the mayor, Stonetooth, uh, Thaloran Stonetooth, who had died, supposedly, from a deadly poison back in Embla during an assassination attempt. He seemed to be different, a little bit happier, and a little bit taken by the colioid. But all seemed well, and you now are just hanging out around the colloid, these crystalline structures. What is your next move?
I believe the next thing we had discussed was returning to Stoneholme and convincing some of the people that have been displaced to be temporary blood servants, and then headed to the Mushroom Forest by way of Tree Stride as well, and speaking with the refugees, and then infiltrating Halal.
What she said.
Well, that's the Mushroom Forest part.
I think we just have to talk to the Vvors and get them to stop coming down here.
Oh no,
Right.
we were planning the poison mushrooms.
I was also going to talk to them as well.
Oh,
though.
okay.
Yeah. But like I said, they kind of stupid. So I figured that the poison mushrooms would be a reminder. Like a hey, remember you're not allowed over here? There's plenty of underworld for everybody.
We help Sporelina disseminate the spores, and then track
So-
down the Volt.
All right. You guys, as you guys discuss this amongst yourself, Morrik says that he will stay back for a while in the colloid to learn more about their customs and culture, but he'll catch up with you.
Do you think we can sell some of our stuff at Stoneholme as well?
Do you have something to sell?
Yeah, we have a lot of stuff to sell.
Well,
Okay. I mean, I'm sure.
we can. The problem is that the economy there is kind of fucked up right now.
Right. Well, there's that one guy with all the magic pieces that he just throws everywhere, right?
That's in Vethan's Hole.
Oh, just kidding. Wrong place. Wrong place. Because we have the Sporelina just starts pulling stuff out. She's like, we got the Ring of Warmth, the Ring of Free Action, the Demon Book with the heads on it, the Dwarven Thrower.
Speaking of, Kaelor, hi. You're muted.
He's muted.
Oh wait, sorry, I forgot I had muted myself because I had a different mic set up. All right, yeah, no, yeah, it took longer than expected to go pick up the dog from the dust storm.
No problem. So as Sporelina goes over the things that she wants to sell, she mentions a book with a skull face on it.
Yeah, that's the one that I thought Kaelor tried to convince me to give that to him, and I say, no, bruh, because it was like super evil.
You don't know that. You didn't identify it yet. Looks evil.
The
but you don't
demonic
know for
face
sure.
with the human tongue sticking out.
You don't know.
Well,
I'm going off of the law of deduction here. And
Oh,
you know,
saying
like
that
Christ's
probably
book.
is.
We did actually identify it, along
Did
with
you?
the interesting looking mushroom cap.
All right. Well, that identify has changed because I just made the item literally an hour ago. So
I think you weren't able to tell us exactly what the book did, but you gave us like some pieces of information about it.
all right, I'm going to
So.
give you some new pieces of information about it,
Okay.
and you let me know if it is up to your standards to give to Kaelor. All right, so with the identify spell, you learn that this book is clasped shut with heavy chains. A depiction of a horned skeleton beast with razor teeth adorns the front of this book. If a character touches this book, they immediately feel cold. You know, to open the book, one must prove themselves worthy by making a Constitution saving throw. On a success, the clasps unlock, giving access to the book. On a failure, the creature takes 1d10 psychic damage. The creature has advantage if the check is done in magical darkness. You know that this is a book that is enhances one's spells, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it is evil. It definitely has some interesting undertones to it, but
Some darker undertones.
darker undertones, yes. But you don't sense anything overtly evil about it.
Okay.
Come on, just finally give me the book. It's cold and dark like me.
Yeah,
I mean,
cold,
it
dark,
does
and
honestly,
full of
it does
poor decisions.
it does really match your aesthetic. I'm gonna be super honest. All right, fine. But if you start smoking or your eyes start glowing, I'm throwing the fucking book in the fire pit. Are we clear?
And then I'm gonna throw you in the fire pit.
Okay, yes, Mom. And then I run off
Okay.
to the corner like a kid and then cast magical darkness on myself.
All right. As you cast magical darkness on yourself, you grab the book and you touch the clasps. I'm gonna need you to make a Constitution saving throw with advantage.
Alright, getting in here.
And you
I
ran
just
away from me, so you don't get
turn
the plus.
around, walk away with my hands in the air, like I'm not part of this. This is not my doing.
And you have +5 if Elora is close by.
No, he ran away from me.
Oh, you said you ran away, so there you go.
Alright,
Like a small little gremlin child.
Do you
And
call Elora over to you?
and
He's like, never mind.
I don't know.
Elora, wait.
I don't know if this will be relevant, but I'm going to use my sorcery points to cast magical darkness, so that allows me to see inside of it.
Sure.
All right. Here comes the Constitution saving throw. I'm good at those, fortunately.
Hey!
Wow.
Nice.
First
That was
one.
a really good roll.
And there we go. Okay.
As you
Oof.
cast your magical darkness and touch the clasps, you hear a clink clink. All of you hear a clink clink, and then you might hear like a giggle from Kaelor inside the magical darkness.
Oh my god.
All right. Kaelor, go ahead and add Book of the Veil to your inventory.
All right.
Oh boy.
In order to attune, you must one must read this book every night for 1 hour to maintain its effects.
Oh, that's easy. Sporelina starts getting a sinking feeling in her stomach, like especially with the little giggle Kaelor put out, that maybe she shouldn't have given him this book.
I notice that
no takes
Sporelina's just
back.
kind of regretting everything, and I just the look of, what did you give my brother?
For the record, he basically bullied me until I gave it to him. Okay, so whatever happens is on him.
Oh no, she doesn't say any of that out loud. It's just the look of, what did you give my brother?
If this didn't happen, I had a whole backup plan to where I was going to get my dwarf buddy to totally buy it off of whoever you sold it to. Yeah. All right.
Just worried for you, Bob. That's all.
You hear heavy breathing and frantic flipping of pages.
Well, at least it's just flipping of pages. That leads me to believe you're not doing anything else wrong. He is in magical darkness. He could be doing anything right now.
So we leave him
Thanks, Sporelina. Thanks.
I think we should give him some privacy with his book. I don't want to be around if he makes other noises.
He's literally around a hive mind. They're all sharing this experience of him doing this together.
There are probably thousands sharing this experience right now.
And I would like to not be one of them.
Yeah,
Again,
I honestly thought Kaelor was going to try and steal that book from me a long time ago.
Again,
I was, and
I
then I
had
forgot about it.
you are welcome to stay as long as you wish. But as long as we don't hear fapping noises.
Yeah, I'm sure her demure crystalline self would really call it fapping, but
We are all proud members of No Nut. No Fap. This is the Colloid No Fap division.
Oh my god.
Of necessity, not necessarily by choice.
Sporelina is going to go start trying to very carefully transplant kind of around the outside of the cave entrance.
Sure.
Transplant some of the explodey mushroom plants. And I'm going to make sure I leave like an opening big enough for them to get through. So just kind of to whack them off a little bit.
All right, so like something like a little spore right here, spore right there.
Yeah, she's gonna just spore around, you know.
Eh.
Did we just
All
say
right,
no?
so
thank-
something like that. I would say that this would probably take you to sow the spores and make sure that they are nice and happy and healthy. Would you say this would take you like an hour?
Sure, yeah.
All right.
I even have the spell that I can make them grow. What is that spell called?
Druidcraft.
No. There's the one that makes the grounds fertile for whatever you're growing.
That
I
takes
think
like
that's a
8
ritual
hours.
for like an hour. Yeah.
That's why I say it's an hour. So if we're gonna take an hour anyway,
Oh, I thought that was like an 8 hours.
there's 2 parts of the spell that you can either do. One's an 1 hour one, and one's an
But yeah,
8
one
hour
does like 5 miles around.
Yeah, and I don't need that. I just need like right here. So
Okay. So then over the course of the hour, you use that spell. Is it a ritual, I
Mhm.
assume? All right.
yes, it is. I can't. Let me. What the fuck is that spell called? Sorry.
No problem. During that hour, Kaelor, you start reading this book and it starts filling you with just intensity. You are going to roll for me on the 3 minor beneficial properties table. I already did 3 D100s from you, please.
Actually, sorry. It's not. It is not a ritual. It's an action. For
All
that
right.
one. It's 1 action or 8 hours. So I just instantly do it. It's called plant growth.
All right. All right. So Kaelor, you gain this. While it's in the artifact, you can use an action to cast 1 4th level spell from it after you cast the spell. Roll a d6 on a roll of 1 to 5. You can't cast the spell again until the next dawn. And what else? Number 20. Go ahead and write these down, Kaelor. You have to keep track of them because I will forget.
I'm popping up a OneNote right now.
While attuned to the artifact, you regain 1d6 hit points at the start of your turn if you have at least 1 hit point.
Oh God, he
And-
needs that.
85. There you go. Except you have a 7th level. Wait, is that a major or minor? Oh, fuck. Okay. Damn it. Ignore everything that I just sent you.
Deleting.
Delete all that. Okay. This is what it is. And then 50. That. And then 85. So there you go. So 3rd level. There you go. So while it's in the artifact, you gain proficiency in 1 skill of the DM's choice. What skill would you all agree is something that would be about darkness and about shadows and being able to sleek through the night and things like that? What skill do you think?
Is he already proficient in stealth? I'm assuming.
No, I'm not.
That's the
That-
one.
There you go.
All right,
That
so you are now
shocks me.
proficient in stealth. Do you know how to manually change that on D&D Beyond or no?
No, I do not.
I will do that for you. Just write down that you are attuned or you are proficiency in stealth. While attuned to the artifact, you have resistance to 1 damage type of the DM's choice. I think either cold or necrotic is
I was
appropriate.
gonna say necrotic was my first guess too.
Are you resistant to necrotic?
Nope, I am not.
All right, so you will be resistant to necrotic. And as for a 3rd level spell, let's see.
Fireball.
No, he already has fireball.
Oh, it's one that he doesn't need. He doesn't have already.
I've got a kind of interesting one from that that compendium.
Yeah, you know what? I like
Oh.
that.
I was gonna pray for counterspell because nobody fucking has counterspell in this group.
Here, I'll
It
post it in
It has to
Discord.
have, yeah. It has to have like a darkness theme to it. I feel
Oh,
like.
Okay, that's
who are
fair.
you talking?
Who
He
am
was
I
talking to me.
Oh yeah, the counterspell thingy. Death Sight. Choose 1 creature within range. Range wisdom save throw succeeds. Sudden chill, but no the fact that they fail. Every creature really looks like grasping claw zombies. That's kind of cool. Kaelor, do you like that?
You just mumbled it. Oh.
I
It's
like
a-
the name.
It's in
I-
Discord.
Gotcha.
Choose one creature within range. That creature must make a wisdom saving throw. If they succeed, they experience a sudden chill, but no other effect. If they fail, every creature they see looks like a grasping, clawing zombies. The target is frightened of every creature it can see. If the target failed to save by 5 or more, it is rendered unconscious.
Oh,
Nice.
that's perfect with my
It's
nightmare.
nightmares,
things.
exactly.
That's beautiful. All right. On top of that, I'm going to need you to roll another D100 for a major beneficial property.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Okay, again, no FAP.
I was expecting Jesse to be like, now roll a D100 to see what
see-
curse you have.
See, I'm having a sorcerer gasm right now. I'm learning all these spells and all these things, But it's a purely platonic sorcerer gasm. All right.
All right.
So
You can still
Here
get
we go.
pregnant from purely platonic sorcerer again.
Oh.
84.
Ooh, that's good. That's the 7th level spell one. Isn't it?
That is a 7th level spell.
All right, looking through the book. Hold on.
All right.
Damn.
Yeah, Jeremy, I will put you on that. Now, roll another 3d100 for a minor detriment.
Yeah, here they are. That's I was like, what's
Oh,
happening?
it's gonna be fun.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, what
58.
worse could he already looks undead?
Wow.
He smells undead.
This one's kind of funny.
Okay, so I'm assuming we're not recurringly rolling this, so let's roll the 1d4.
All right, not that bad.
5 pounds, yeah.
5 pounds.
Okay.
That's like nothing. You don't even notice it. While you are attuned to this artifact, your flaw is amplified in a way determined by the DM. Your flaw is your racism to Drow. And while if you see a Drow, you cannot help yourself. You're gonna kill a Drow.
It's fight on sight.
It's fight. There is no such thing as stealthing. There is no such thing as having a strategic plan. You are throwing firebolts or fireballs or doing whatever. That is your flaw. And
We're gonna
lastly,
have to knock him out. We're
I
gonna have
really
to.
can't
put him in a
picture
corner.
it. I mean, is there any like drows that we like? Not really, right? Like that's the whole point of
So-
this.
Oh
this is
man.
actually that's a really cool. This last one's a really cool
Oh man.
flavor.
So I'm going full PTSD Rambo.
Exactly.
I got your 7th level spell.
Ugh.
Evil glare. Your eyes glow white, forcing anyone who meets your gaze to relive their worst memories. For the duration of the spell, you may choose one target per turn and force them to make a wisdom save to withstand meeting your terrible gaze. You may affect a number of targets equal to your spellcasting ability modifier. If your target fails their save, they are trapped in this nightmare vision and are blinded for a number of rounds equal to your spellcasting ability modifier. Victims may make wisdom save every turn to end the condition. When someone makes a successful save, they become immune to the spell effect for 24 hours.
Okay. Can I get a copy paste of that so I can put it in my notes?
Yep, it's already copy pasted in the
It's-
mushroom tab.
Well, the picture,
Gotcha.
because of the PDF, it won't let me copy the text for some.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I can put the images in OneNote.
And lastly, give me 2 D100 for 2 major detrimental properties.
Oh god.
Waiting for this.
Yikes! The
It's a
cursed
blessing and
sibling.
a curse.
And this is why I wasn't gonna give him the book. Okay.
It was 2d100?
2 D100. 53. 53. Ooh.
Your penis falls off.
You become attuned to the artifact, you gain a form of long-term madness. And 57.
Even more
Roll
racism.
me another one. Roll me another D100.
It's the same thing, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I was figuring because they're close.
71. Oh Jesus.
Long-term madness. The racism.
This one, I don't like this one. You have to do another D100, sorry. No, damn it.
That's probably too close to the other ones as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Nope, this one works.
Okay.
Here we go. So that one. When you become attuned to the artifact, one of your ability scores is reduced by 2 at random. A greater restoration score restores the ability
that's
to
rough.
normal. So at random, d6, strength, dex, etc., like in order. 1 strength. So your strength is reduced by 2.
That makes sense, honestly. He loses weight
Works.
and becomes weaker. Yeah.
Okay. How do I manually?
Yeah, that's why I don't have my spell sheet, or I don't really use that on D&D Beyond. I
No, you
prefer
just-
Roll20 because you can edit the sheet
Just
directly.
click on strength and then do other modifier and do -2.
Okay, there we go.
How can you be blinded 25% or... Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, I get it. All right, here we go. All right, I'm going to roll a d100. If it's a 25 or below, you're blinded. It is a 42. You are deafened for 60 hours.
Map,
Jesus
Jesus.
Christ.
map.
Okay, so I am deafened for 60 hours.
Too bad you
Correct.
can't be a bat and just take form and just use
Echolocation.
echolocation.
I mean, he won't be able to hear things, though. Like, I don't think that's how it works. But anyway, Kaelor, just to give you an idea of the rest of the book, after you spend the requisite amount of time studying the book, one ability score you choose increases by 2 to a maximum of 24. Another ability score of your choice decreases by 2 to a minimum of 3. The book cannot adjust your ability scores again. The Mark of Darkness. After you spend a requisite amount of time reading and studying the book, you acquire a physical remnant of its magics. Your body seems to breathe a black shadow that emanates from every aspect of yourself and cloaks over your body as you walk. The air 5 feet around you feels cold. So remember that whole shadow, smoky thing coming off of him? Yeah, Sporelina, he has it.
Oh, dang it.
Great.
You also
This is
have
fine.
Command the Darkness. While you are tuned to the book and holding it, you can use an action to move 20 by 20 feet of magical darkness you can see within 90 feet of you. You may move that magical darkness and center it on any location you can see within 90 feet of you. Dark Lore. You can use the reference of the Book of the Veil whenever you make an intelligence check on lore, such as the Void or other topics deemed appropriate by the DM. When you do so, double your proficiency bonus on that check. You have Dark Speech. As an action, you can recite words from the pages in a foul language known as Darkness Speech. Each time you do so, you take 1d12 psychic damage, and each creature within 15 feet takes 3d6 psychic damage. Absorb the Darkness. Once per long rest, you can absorb 20 by 20 feet area of magical darkness that you are standing in. Doing so requires an action. The section of magical darkness is dissipated, and you regain 4d6 hit points. Greater absorb darkness whenever you use absorb the darkness feature of this book, and the magical darkness originates from a creature or object other than yourself. You gain a minor property. Cash in the darkness. I didn't have a better way of saying it. You can choose up to 3 minor beneficial properties for 1 random major beneficial property.
Okay.
And that is your epic item.
All right. I think I'm missing a minor detriment because I only have the lose 5 pounds and the compulsive fight on site racism. Or was there 3?
Let me double check. You tune 5 pounds. While tune the artifact. Non-magical flames are extinguished within 30 feet of you.
Okay.
So that one's kind of cool. That one's like really
works
flavorful.
for him.
It really does work. All right, but after that hour of attuning to that magical item, you guys return to the shroud of darkness that Kaelor is within. I know it probably doesn't last that long, but just for flavor purposes, it's still there. And yeah, what do you guys do?
Why can't I just picture him like collecting it up like a blanket and then just like putting it over his head and walking around like a small child, giggling in glee?
Kind of makes sense. Can we? Was there any kind of large plant life in and or around Stoneholme? Like, do they have like a central tree or like a garden district?
Oh, I still wanted to go talk to the daddy
Oh, the
Vvor.
Vvor, yeah. Cool.
Vvor.
Vol. I said Vor last time, and everybody corrected me.
Vvor.
Oh, well, people corrected me last time.
How dare they?
Mhm.
Damn those people. All right. So you guys begin to exit as the individuals of the colloid wave goodbye, all synonymously, like all at the exact same time, perfect amount of motion, 12 degree of a slant on their arm, and like everything is perfect. So you guys begin heading out, and as you begin heading out from the crystalline caves back into the mushroom den and kind of different parts of the underworld, I am going to need a skill challenge to see if you can, one, track down these Vvor and find the where you're supposed to be going. So roll that initiative.
Wow, Kertz, even with advantage?
How?
I
Oh.
don't know. It didn't make it to the turn order
We're
either.
at a 2
Yeah,
and a 1.
you only rolled
On
once.
myself. Yeah. I'm a little distracted tonight. Sorry about that, guys.
You're okay.
We'll kill you later. All right. So
Jesus.
Cinna. Cinna. So to give you an idea, Cinna, so we've only done this a few times, but pretty much I'll give a little description of the area that you will be traversing through, and you have to use the abilities that you're proficient in to try and figure out whatever. This is like an abstract concept as well. So don't be afraid to like argue with me or try to use your proficiency skills that you're proficient with in a way that you think is applicable to the situation. So as you leave the crystalline caves, you start entering these mushroom caverns and different elevation parts of this particular part of the cave that is deep within the underworld. You can hear different animals squealing and making noises all around you, kind of echoing through the caves, but a little bit muffled by the mushrooms around you. You know that the Vvor go around this area all the time. They are quite, I guess, well adorned to this area. And you guys are looking for Papa Vvor in order to convince them to stay away from this area. And so, if you guys get 4 passes, you guys succeed completely with no side effects. Any more than 1 failure, there's going to be a side effect. 3 failures is an automatic encounter, whether it's a social or combat or exploration encounter. So, Cinna, what would you like to do?
Okay, so despite not having dark vision, I would like to do a little search ahead of the group just to see if I can find any noticeable tracks, anything fresh that would lead me to having a good general direction of where the Vivor went.
I'm going to need a perception with disadvantage because, again, you don't have dark vision. If you are
That's
using
fine.
a torch or anything that gives off light, I might be able to give you a straight roll.
I will take the disadvantage
Okay.
because there are other things that go bump in the night underground that I don't want to disturb.
All right. Take the disadvantage. The DC is 18, by the way. And that's a 15. First fail. All right. Sporelina.
It's a me, Sporelina.
I'm
I
sorry,
am
I
going.
failed.
I am going to obviously use survival, um, along with my cavern stalker ability,
Mm.
which basically means I'm so accustomed to caves, you always know the actual direction of any sound or echo you hear. So I'm going to use those 2 abilities combined to try and track down via the feel of the ground any poop I find, and remembering that we did see the bigger Vor out here earlier and trying to specifically track him.
All right. Does that give you advantage, or does it just say this is what it does?
It's just what it does.
I will give you
But
advantage for using that ability.
sick.
28.
Well,
That'll do it good. 1 success, 1 failure. Kaelor.
Right. Oh god. Okay. Do. Oh god. Oh wait, I'm actually good at stealth now. Yes. Let's let's sneak. Let's try to sneak around. I try to assist in
Tell everyone to
everyone.
shut the fuck up and tell them to
Yes.
step quietly.
Okay.
Wow.
Wah, wah.
Oh,
wait,
we didn't.
oh yeah, we haven't added that proficiency, so that should be. I don't know
14.
what that'd be plus.
14. It's a plus
Okay.
4 proficiency. So it's still a failure. So 2 fails, 1 save. Good try though. Good try. Elora.
Holy moly mole. Yeah, I'm just gonna can I do the same thing I was doing before and just clear the path ahead of us as we're walking through this untamed Underdark?
Athletics.
Again,
Alright.
I only had to roll a 10.
Sporelina is really holding the group together right now. She's like off on her
you
own.
are.
I didn't even get to go.
Well, it's only 3 failures.
Yeah, 3 failures is an encounter. 4 successes is a success. So, Curtsy boy, you will determine how difficult things are. So go ahead.
What do I roll for that?
What are you gonna do?
Oh,
What's your
right.
skill?
I was gonna try. We saw the big Vvor get hit, and it was bleeding, right?
Was it bleeding?
Yeah, because the big ice or the big crystalline thing kind of chased it off, and that's when we saw it go back into the wall, and the lady came out to check what was going on, and then it ran.
Okay.
So I mean, it's up to you, I guess, if it was actually
Yeah.
bleeding or not. But
D100 above a 50, it's bleeding.
Come on.
It's bleeding.
Okay. I would like to try and look for the blood trail on the ground and taste it to make sure it is Vvor blood, and not just blood.
So like a medicine or nature check?
Medicine check, yes.
Medicine check. All right.
I'm not even gonna ask how you would know the difference.
We've eaten Vvor.
D6. All right.
I've eaten Vvor meat, not drank Vvor blood.
I'm gonna put you guys over here, over yonder, and we'll just pretend that you are semi far away from the crystal caverns when you guys hear what sounds like some individuals approaching you.
Oh joy.
Drow.
As they approach you, you hear the flapping of wings and such, as the very large and boisterous, not boisterous, very large and angry Borgzar, the savage Ahool that you met earlier, comes down with a group of other Ahool behind him. And as he approaches you, he just says, "Have you found what is killing our Vvor?"
yes, and we're handling it.
Good. And you've taken care of the problem by removing it.
Actually, I'm going to talk to the Vvor right now just to double check that we got the right guy.
So what did you kill in order to prevent this from happening again?
We killed a couple things down here.
Those big snake women things.
Yeah.
Nagas.
And the Nagas were responsible for killing our Vvor?
We're not sure. That's why I'm going to talk to the Vvor. Why are you being so mean to me?
He's getting impatient. Roll a persuasion check.
Sporelina starts crying.
Because you start crying, the DC's 10. So go ahead.
Emotional manipulation.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's close. Very well. I believe I heard the big one over that way, about half a mile. We'll follow you as well.
Thank
Hi.
you.
Can I insight this guy and see if he's...
Sure.
Ooh. Ugh.
Let me
That
roll.
was-
Let me roll a roll.
That was something.
Ooh,
Nah.
almost a 1. All right, hard to read. Just kind of crosses his arms and gives a demeanor that shows that he is impatient as a person, which I'm sure you could figure out. But also just kind of closed-lipped about it. He seems to have a lot of thoughts that.
Did I
he's
make
not-
him uncomfortable by crying?
No, he's more annoyed, but he's like, fine, just go. But you guys go around the corner, and again, this is just pretend that this is away from the crystalline caves by a long shot. And over here, you can see the group of Vvor just grazing. Because of the group stealth check, you guys know you're making a little bit of noise. And I'm going to say that you're about 90 feet away before you can decide if you want to approach or not.
Hey, Jesse, what's the CR of the Vvor?
The little one or the big one?
The little one.
You guys have faced that before, so you probably would know. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. Yes, I had to say the whole alphabet before.
Same.
Wow, college, man.
Same.
The Vvor, these are a challenge rating 5.
Never mind.
But you have faced one with a challenge rating of 2 before, if that helps.
Nope.
All right.
I'm not a Circle of the Moon, so I can only do up to a 1, I think.
Okay. Well, you are about 90 feet away from the Vvor, who are grazing on a group of mushrooms currently.
Okay.
The big one with massive spines coming out of it.
I'm going to cast Speak with Animals beforehand, because that lasts for a little while. Excuse me.
Hot.
And
Beautiful.
then, just for you guys. And then I'm gonna have everyone stay behind because I don't want to come up as like a threatening force of people. We don't want to spook them, right? And then Sporelina's I'm gonna walk part of the way there, and then I'm gonna crawl the west of the way there, and do my best to never make eye contact with Daddy Vvor, and then try to talk to him.
All right.
That's the plan.
All right. So you guys watch Sporelina get down on all 4 legs or arms, or I don't even know what you have. Appendages.
I have appendages.
And you begin to inch your way forward. Are you stealthing or just trying to make yourself known as you inch forward?
I don't want to spook it, so I'm gonna make myself known, and I once it starts to like kind of get aggro that I'm walking towards it, then I'll start trying to talk to it.
Okay. So I'll say that you get you'll get right around here. So you're only about 20, 25 feet away from it by the point that it starts to notice you. And what do you do as it looks at you and starts tapping its feet?
In Vavoranese, I go because I don't know what language they speak, but I speak its language basically. I say, "Hello, Great Horned One. I come with a proposition to help save your people, if you are willing to listen. If you would do me the esteemed honor of listening."
Roll a persuasion check, DC 10. Wow. What? Is it the same as last?
Wow.
Good enough.
That's like a 2.5% chance. Anyway, so as you say this, the Vvor looks at you and just says, "Shepherd of the forest, of the mushroom forest. Why
That's
have you
me.
come?"
also, we were hearing about the great plight of your people being attacked by the crystalline creatures with many eyes. I'm sure you've seen them around.
Yes.
And our goal is to preserve you, obviously, but to also make sure the crystalline people stay in their home, which they have been more than willing to do, and to leave you alone if you just refrain from trying to enter their cave.
We have had it hard since you've left us. Where have your people gone? They no longer shepherd us.
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, um, we're not allowed in these caves anymore. Um, but we're doing our best. But if you just stay away from the crystal creatures, your life will be exponentially better. I promise.
And then winged flying things attack us and kill us. Ever since you left us, things have not been good for the Vvor, for my individuals here in our pack.
Yeah, I'm also trying to talk to them as well. So I promise. So our goal is to get a balance here in the nature, the balance the nature as the natural force would have it. I'm sure you understand.
We would prefer you to stay here and watch over us like you did before.
Unfortunately, that is not my path.
Then send those who came before you.
Interesting thought. I don't know how the winged creatures would take to such an intrusion, but I could bring it up to them.
Be our liaison. We will continue to go around a forest, but we wish to no longer have to worry about our children and their children. We wish to be free.
Sporelina's feeling real bad. Yeah, and I get that. I totally do. So I will liaison the best I can for you. Unfortunately, as a single Funglette, they are not ones to generally listen to just little old me, but perhaps my family can help. But
Very
for the
well.
safety of yours and the rest of your people, just stay just stay away from the crystal edged cave. I have put it blockers of the mushroom that kind of explodes, so that will keep them at bay as well as you away from their cave. Are we clear on that?
Your people used to grow food for us. So many foods. And now you use our foods against us to keep us penned in. So
No.
much has changed. You tell us we
What?
cannot go into the crystalline caves, but they inch their ways out of the caves year after year, infringing on our territory. And now we have to deal with these winged creatures hunting us and killing us. When your people
They're not a
were
way out of
shepherding
here?
us, there is no way out. The winged people have cornered us, and the crystalline caves, there is no way out for us.
Oh no. I gotta be honest, you're putting me in a really hard spot right now because I am not strong enough, nor is my party strong enough to kill the crystalline creatures. And like they'll definitely just kill us, and then you'll be even in a worse predicament. And then the Ahool, the big flying things, there's a lot of them, and I also can't kill all of them. So I don't know how to help other than to try and keep you guys apart from each other as much as possible.
You don't need to kill anyone. Just shepherd us out of this pen that we have been enclosed in, back to the fungi forest, the large fungi forest.
I'm assuming that Sporelina knows that like there's no way she could do that, right? Like they would all just see her being like, "Bye guys," me just like with my quarterstaff taking all of these fucking four out.
Man.
That is for you to determine.
Will Sporelina go full ELF?
Oh God.
Find out on this episode of.
I have spoken. Help us or leave us to be slaughtered.
Okay, I'll be back. Okay. Sporelina is gonna like run over to her group. Are the Ahool still like flying around us?
They're not flying, they're just standing maybe 10 feet away from you guys at this point.
Okay.
Borgzar is looking at the Vvor kind of hungrily and has his weapons at the ready, looking like he's just waiting for you guys to leave.
I kind of just come over to our group and I'm like, huddle time, guys, this was a bad idea. We fucked up. They're so upset. They don't want to be slaughtered anymore. And as a pacifist and somebody who doesn't eat meat, I kind of believe that they have a right to live.
Well, it's the circle of life, right? I mean, the Vvor eat mushrooms. We eat the Vvor. Barry eats us.
But you guys also eat mushrooms, so.
I mean, what if we compromise and only let half of them get slaughtered?
Do you think that you could convince an entire populace that only half of them are going to die? Have you even seen Endgame?
I also have an idea. They're pigs. Who gives a damn?
Sporelina is just going to whack Kertz right in the face for that one.
I'm going to let her do that, and I might smile a little bit.
I'm gonna try and block it.
Oh,
You
God.
probably
I
can.
didn't-
My strength is a.
Just kidding.
Well, roll
I
an
don't have
attack,
guidance.
Sporelina.
That's going to be a +2.
That hits. God
That
damn.
Yeah!
Just thump.
Just a nice little fist to the top of the head.
Thwack. I think it's what, like 1 damage or something. It's like it's
Your strength, yeah, it's 1.
No,
plus
my
your
strength, so it's 2. So it's 3.
3 points of damage to you, Kertz. Take that.
I will. No,
As you
but
guys hear a
It made good contact.
very good contact.
no, but I mean,
Um,
it's either listen to the pigs and let a city fall, or not listen to the pigs and maybe actually help out a city.
My people used to shepherd them. Did they tell you that? Because they told me that. We used to live in harmony with the Vvor, and now they're trapped here like sardines.
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 Mm. Yum 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 yum.
Sporelina is starting to like square up to Kertz now. She's like so much taller than him, and she's just looming. The shadow of her mushroom cap is like falling over your face.
Well, but the problem is that this is the Ahool's primary trading source with Stoneholme.
I know.
They're not going to give up the Vvor.
I know. Could I just maybe take like a baby? Like a mating pair and return them to the fungal forest?
I mean, I can't tell you yes to that. That's something that the Vvor.
Sporelina kind of like stops her looming over Kertz and then crawls back over to the Vvor. It says, I'm trying desperately to figure out a way to help your people. I don't know if I can help all of you, but maybe I could take a mating pair back to the fungal forest and they can let your people live on free of this place. I cannot, unfortunately, take all of you.
Make a persuasion check, DC 15.
Yeah.
Anybody
I'm
have
gonna give you
inspiration?
some bardic inspiration.
Hey!
Ooh, I don't need it, but I'm gonna use it anyway. What is it? A D8?
I think it's a D10. Let me check really quick.
No, well. It doesn't matter.
You
Yeah, it's a
see-
D10.
You see the Daddy Vor get really offended for a moment, then think it over and just say, "We live as a herd. We are together as a herd, and we will not be separated."
But you don't all have to die this way.
We would want to live together. That is what our goal is.
So I would think your goal would want to be to make sure that your species survives in certain aspects. But let's just
Right,
say-
that's what I would think. But
That's only on the evolutionary level, not the species level. We have our individual cries and calls and our individuality. We do not care about evolution.
well, and I feel like Sporelina would probably know, right, that the Vor does run rampant in the fungal forest because they eat so much
Indeed.
shroomies.
Indeed.
And there's probably a ton of them there still. It's just
Indeed.
this herd itself has been trapped here.
Yes.
I can just see us completing the Halath mission, and Sporelina comes back with with a revolutionary.
Just a whole army.
Yeah, just literally slips in through a tree, gathers the herd, slips out, and the Ahool are left wondering what the fuck happened.
First off, Jeremy, stay out of my head. Second off, Sporelina was already writing her side story. She's like, all right, I'm gonna mark this place. Sporelina definitely put some extra effort into growing one of those mushrooms. We'll just say that. I'm just gonna bow to the Vor and come back to my party and say, I think it's time for us to leave.
You
I
give
will
your
also
best.
say to the Ahool captain, we have taken care of the threats, obviously, because we're great. But I would remind you that if you are to continue to hunt this herd the way you have been, you will run out of boar faster than you can imagine. Their gestation period is longer than you think. So I recommend taking times off for them to breed properly. Otherwise, their herd will die out and you will truly be left with nothing.
Oh, I'm not worried about that. We also hunt in the fungi forest. Steal a few of the piglets, let them loose in here. They keep the population up and running.
Ooh, Sporelina is turning like a dark color of purple. She goes, interesting, because last time I checked, the Vvor and the fungal forest belonged to the Funglettes.
Oh, what they don't know can't hurt them.
Well, now they know.
So, are you saying you want to go against the entire city of Agor Hashad?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I am saying that it might be a little bit harder to get them out of the fungal forest now.
We'll see.
Oh, we certainly will. And she looks down at his puny little body, and then she keeps walking.
Meanwhile, in the background, Elora's just like leaning into Kertz. She's like, I'll take the 4 in the left, you take the 4 in the right, and then the rest of them can just, if we kill them all, and we just say that they got killed by like the Naga down here.
Sometimes things happen.
Is this because Sporelina is clearly about to start a fight? of some sort?
and a civil war, or not a civil war, a turf war.
It is kind of a civil war if we're talking about the Vvor being able to be free.
I mean, we do technically have like Naga teeth and like extra venom stored away, so we could totally make it look like they were killed.
I
Are
would
you speaking to them in character?
No.
No.
Please do.
I'm assuming that they are dang it, what am I trying to say? I figured that they are probably immune to poison anyway.
You don't know that.
Okay, I'm allowed to have my assumptions, Jesse.
You can make a nature check if you so desire.
Sure.
As you think over the Ahool, you know that some of the greater Ahool are immune to thunder damage as their body just absorbs the vibrations in the air rather well. They are resistant to cold as they have a thick fur coat all around them. And however, the brightness from radiant energy does not do them any favors, and they are vulnerable to that.
Okay, suddenly I like the Vvor now.
Can I become a Vvor?
Can I what?
I was
She wants to
jokingly
become
saying,
a
can I
Vvor.
become a Vvor? Or a Hool?
They have a CR of 5, and they're
I
not a
actually
beast.
don't. Yeah, I was gonna say I can't become them anyway.
So you begin to walk on as Borjar and his troop look at the Vvor off in the distance and say, "All right, boys, time to get us a good feast for tonight." As they begin stalking and getting low. You guys doing anything, or just
Is this
continuing on?
this
Walking out, we're
main?
walking out.
Is this main captain the guy that was like?
Borjar, yes, yes.
Oh.
Do we want their help in the fight or not?
Yes. Well, if we don't, we're not gonna be able to fight our way out of this place. So.
We don't need to. There's giant mushrooms. Fuck.
No, let's go.
I just give Sporelina a good pat on the arm because I'm clearly far too fucking short to
Just-
reach her shoulder.
Just
And just being like, it's gonna be okay.
just an option. We kill them. We take the Vvor back to the fungal forest via tree. We get a Vvor army to help us out during the siege.
No, I think we're just gonna continue on, and
Ow.
Sporelina is just gonna have to pray for forgiveness.
All right,
And
you
guidance.
guys continue on as you hear. Whoosh. Err.
Jesse, I really feel like you're rubbing it in now, and I'm literally gonna tell Aaron that you're being mean to me.
As you guys continue on, and that is that.
I hope
So-
you can't poop for the rest of the day. I hope your pillow is always warm tonight. I really do. I hope both sides of your pillow are fucking toasty.
All right, so as you guys make your way out of the hunting caves of Gor Hashad, I'm gonna need a skill challenge. We're just gonna keep the same initiative. I think that's easiest. As you travel through this area of dangerous land and area, that you hear monsters and potentially more Ahool coming or going. There are many, many mushrooms all around. Many of them might be poisonous, might be good for you, bad for you, could be useful for items or non-items or whatever. But I'm gonna need some skills challenge as you navigate your way back to the enclave of the Ahool. Cinna,
Yeah.
what you doing?
I'm dying.
We all are.
Yeah, I'm choking on air though, so that's kind of a special breed special. I'm just trying to be I'm trying to be comforting to Sporelina. And please stop Windows. And then I'm also probably going to be doing a bit of probably just trying to be quiet and unnoticeable by any other creatures that go bump in the dark, while trying to silently console my friend by holding her hand and reassuring her that what she did was the best she could do.
So are you saying you want to go for perception?
Perception or stealth?
Well,
You mean
all right.
persuasion or stealth?
No, perception. I mean, I guess I
Oh.
could do persuasion.
Yeah, from what she said, I didn't get perception off that. I may have missed something.
So,
Well, she needs something to help us get through here, not to comfort me. It's like,
well, comforting you might be crying and causing a ruckus, so maybe she like needs to
That's true.
calm you down.
And
Like
you're
again, this
also
is
the-
pretty
the-
abstract.
You're also the person who would most likely get us out of here. Like, you're the best navigator
true.
we've got underground.
why would I even get
Yeah.
how they're
It-
getting us out of here? Like, we
I-
just die with the floor. It would be way better.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Hey, you
Alright.
did your best. You did your best, and not every time it's gonna work. But you tried,
All right.
right?
Right.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you do not tame her.
Pass.
She is still upset. Sporelina, your turn.
I tried, okay.
I'm just gonna look at all of them, and I'm just gonna stop my feet. I'm gonna be like, "You guys find your way out of here, you fucking dirty, filthy meat eaters! This is all your fault." I will do survival, but I will take it as a disadvantage.
Sure.
I'm so sorry for laughing.
15. 1, 2.
Oh fuck.
Wouldn't have
And
mattered anyway.
Kaelor.
Okay. All right. Oh God. I don't know if it'd be that helpful since she already rolled, but I'm gonna try to finish calming our little spore friend down. Like there. It's all a part of the circle of life, and now that we know where they're getting their vor, maybe we can find a way to take advantage of that. We could maybe make sure they select infertile vor. There's all sorts of fun things
You know
we
what's
could do.
also the circle of life? Mushrooms eat humans once they're dead.
God damn it. Yep, that's
Living
the
people
response
eat
for my
dead
roll.
mushrooms. Living mushrooms eat dead people.
Yes, that's
Alright.
true. I later will become a mushroom as I'm enveloped by the darkness. The book's been telling me a lot about that, by the way.
Something tells me that natural force would spit you out of her grounds, you nasty man.
Well, that's just uncalled
That's
for.
not. I was gonna say that is a little rude, ma'am.
Sporelina's out off rocker right now.
I was just gonna say, damn girl, no.
Alright. So that was that. That is 3 fails, so we're just gonna see how bad do you continue to fail and how deadly this encounter is gonna be. Elora.
I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna slap Sporelina across the face. I'm gonna be like,
Intimidation.
yeah, I'm gonna be like, snap the fuck out of it. Yeah, your little vor might die, but there are thousands dying. This is a fucking war. Get your head on straight.
Get your head in the game.
Ugh,
I'm sorry, I had to.
thought of that too.
Alright. And lastly, Kertz.
Sporelina's now crying for a whole nother reason.
It hurts.
Kurtz is gonna just look around and make sure that the loud echoing sobs of Sporelina aren't attracting anything of danger. With perception.
19. Do you have advantage?
Mhm.
Okay, that's right.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Yes. Indubitably. All right. Cool. All right. I'm gonna need you guys. Would you like to keep your initiative or roll again as you get? Well, let's
Yep,
find
you gotta
out.
roll
So
because you just cleared it by moving the map.
I see. Go ahead and drop your tokens on right down here. You guys are gonna be down this way, over here. Drop your tokens. And did I give you a token for your boy?
No, it's still the tiny ghoul.
Sorry.
All right, I'll just copy and paste them then. But as you guys continue on, you are trying your darndest to control and console Sporelina. And unfortunately, it just doesn't seem to be enough. As she is crying and as you guys are trying to console her, finally, Elora just gives her a one big whoosh, and you just hear the echoing echoing off the
Shit.
walls And as you hear it echoing off the walls, you realize that you guys have been pretty loud. And it's been pretty difficult to see anything. But Kertz luckily has his eyes out. And Kertz, as you have your eyes out, you can
Ew.
hear you can
Oh my
hear
Sorry.
what sounds like some movement out in the distance. Something heavy is moving slowly upward in front of you. But what do you want to do, Kurtz?
I want to tell everyone to shut the fuck up and move into a corner. Softly. Softly. Not like yelling, everyone shut up.
So you tell him to get off into the corner. I'm going to need stealthy checks from everyone, please.
Oh boy.
Ooh. Kaelor. That is. Oh, wait, no, that's initiative. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then that's survival.
That I saw that. There we go. I have it so it should be adjusted now. I can figure out how to do it.
Mine is an 18. I don't know why it gave me advantage. I have disadvantage.
Okay. So,
Sorry.
do you need anything? Are you okay? You
I
a
need
glass
to
of water?
get some water. I was just gonna say, I'll be right back. I need
Yeah,
to
go.
chug some water.
Don't be afraid to go get it. So, as you guys continue on, you guys hear this large thing that Kurtz had told you earlier about. But as you do, these creatures, whatever they are, they're moving with a lot of weight behind their feet. And at first, you think that you've heard of these things before, or have heard of them while you were on your travels earlier. Maybe it sounds similar to the mushroom golem that you or mushroom titan. I think it's a mushroom titan that you guys interacted with earlier in the campaign. However, as you listen forward, you can see or you can hear that this is something much more dense, exceedingly more dense. And I would say the first one to see is probably Kurtz. You see 3 individuals, large, almost huge individuals, walking down towards the path that you guys are taking. And drop them right here. As you see 3 very large stone golems walking in the same direction as where you guys are headed as well. You guys are heading off over here. Yeah. Oh, motherfucker. Sorry. And what are they going to do? They are going to look around the area as they seem to be scoping out the area. So let's see just how they do. Wow.
Not very good.
Very good at all. And as you guys continue on, you could see in their fists are very, very bloodied. Obviously, stone golems do not have blood. You're pretty well versed in that enough, but you notice that their fists are just covered in some sort of a flesh and ichor and blood as they continue on. Do you guys let them continue on going in the direction of the Vvor and the Ahool in which you came, or
Yeah.
will you
Yeah.
intervene?
Can I do a quick long distance medicine check to see what the flesh and ichor would be?
Sure. I'll say with disadvantage. Well, there's that.
Well,
This doesn't
that's still
matter.
pretty damn good.
You're pretty certain that whatever it is likely some sort of an insect. And if you had to guess, give me an insight check or a nature. Actually, I'll take a nature check from Sporelina or Kertz as you see these sorts of things. You're pretty certain that this is probably some sort of a creature that lives down here in the underworlds, like similar to the Vvor or the Naga or some sort of creature. And Sporelina, you know that these things are incredibly territorial, unwavered by the Ahool or the Vvor, and probably are going to protect their territory.
Sounds like a win-win for me.
And they don't like
Vvor.
life.
Yes, Sporelina is pretending to be a mushroom right now. She just kind of whispers, "Let's let him go."
They will also kill the Vvors.
Well, the Vvor were already dead anyway, weren't they, Kertz?
Not all of them.
Shut up, both of you.
And so,
Perhaps you
Yep.
could send a message to the colloid, as these things don't seem to respect life in the same way that they do.
Cinna would have to do that. I think. Sporelina, do you have sending?
I was gonna say,
No.
does no one else have it?
Yeah, I think you're the only one.
Oh, great.
So you could send to Morrik, since he's with them and in their mind.
Yeah, I guess. I
Okay.
guess I'll do that.
So what do you
I'll
say?
do that. I'm
Three
going to
large-
say, yeah. Hey, Morrik, it's Cinna. There's 3 large stone golems. Be careful. They don't value life. Good luck.
You hear back, "Yeah, we'll take care of it." And then as he says that, you hear, "Yeah, we'll take care of it. 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 We'll take care of
Okay, that's enough, thanks.
it." And they eventually bugger off into the distance. All right. You guys have passed that. We are currently in, what do we have? Two successes?
Yeah.
2 successes. So we're going to just start from the top. Cinnamoira, you have 2 successes. You have to do another skill check. And if you repeat a skill, it is with disadvantage.
Also, I'm
Um,
pretty sure that Kaelor can't whisper right now, considering he's deaf, technically, right?
That is true. Kaelor is deaf.
He's like, woo!
Mop, mop,
Shut up. Shut up. Yeah, no, Cinna's basically at this point just seeing the giant scary stone golem guys. She's just trying to make herself look as small and invisible as possible.
Okay.
We're just doing a stealth.
All right. So that's going to be with disadvantage because stealth was already used.
Yeah, I don't really have anything else that's I
I mean, you do have, so you have expertise in perception, investigation, arcana, and acrobatics. You could definitely use acrobatics. Tell me how you would use your acrobatics to jump between the mushrooms and things.
to not disrupt them and to make sure Sporelina can help me identify which ones explode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Because I know some explode now.
All right. So as Sporelina is telling you this, I'm going to need acrobatics checks. Acrobatics check from
Right.
you, Suna.
I have a really quick question.
Yes.
Why are we walking back to the Ahool area? We've already told them we've fixed the problem. Why aren't we just taking a mushroom to the mushroom forest? Or to Stoneholme, wherever we're going? Why are we walking?
That is for you to decide, not me.
That's a great question. And I would like to counter that with, because we're all kind of stupid.
There's a kitty cat looking at me right now outside my window. Hi, kitty cat.
And tell
What
them to
color
close
is
her
it?
leg.
Sure. Can I just, okay, I mean, my turn's up, so Sporelina could just do it on her turn.
I mean, yeah, just give me a
Sure.
second.
As Cinnamoira is like jumping from mushroom to mushroom, Sporelina, what do you do?
I just kind of, I wait till she gets to a mushroom that is like large enough for us to go through, and I will cast transport via plants as soon as she's about to jump on the next one.
You just
So
see
she just falls into the portal into the mushroom forest.
Where are we going to
And-
Stoneholme first to gather people?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was send people back to the Ahool, and then
Okay, that's literally not what you just said, but okay. Okay, so I will do it in Stonehelm. I'm sure I was there long enough that I would have been able to case out any plants big enough for us to blast through.
Hmm,
Would I just like get thrown like 5 feet in the air the other way in stone?
Perhaps a
So-
little bit.
So there are farms in Stoneholme. Give me a D100 above a 40. I'll say yes. You guys were able to see it from a distance. 98.
Yeah.
Yes.
we found the best
Easy
one.
enough.
Eagle eyes.
I make plants friends everywhere I go, Jesse.
It's true. All right. Go
They
ahead and
understand me.
it only lasts for 6 seconds, I believe. So you all rush in as Cinna gone.
Yep. Blink, and then we
you guys transport. Let me get to Stoneholme. Where's Stoneholme? Stoneholme. And that's right. All right. Morrik is not with you guys, but you guys arrive, and I'm going to put you back this way because this is probably where you saw some of the mushrooms, and we're going to change the music real fast. And as you guys arrive in Stoneholme, you can see a few dwarfs be like, "What the hell? How did you get in here? Are we
I'm
breached?"
No, it's just me, silly. No biggie. And then I just like snap my finger and the plant opening closes. The portal closes.
As you guys look around, you can see that Embla is bustling right now. Bustling. There is just a lot of activity. People going from to and from areas that you know. There is just a lot of individuals in Stoneholme, more than you've seen before. So, where would you like to go?
The audio not working for anybody else. It's just me.
The music?
The music, yeah. It hasn't been working this whole time for me. I just refreshed. I didn't know if it was just Mike.
Works for me. What about you guys?
I don't know because I never have the music on, so
Still
It's
getting it.
very, very, very faint.
Yeah, it doesn't even show that it's playing on my end. That's fine. It's just something to do with my Firefox.
Okay. All right. Well, the city is alive and well. What would you guys like to do?
Make our way to the secret bakery.
Making our way downtown, walking fast, hauling ass.
yeah. Actually, we are walking fast because we don't have our dwarven buddy with us right now.
That is
So-
right.
Yeah.
So, how are you going to
Can we stealth
avoid?
through
Sure. Or you could do like either a disguise kit, performance check.
Didn't we only
whatever you want,
need?
guys.
Didn't we only need a dwarven attaché like after a certain hour?
Nope, it's all the time now.
Oh, okay.
Great.
I'll
Can we just show our multi-pass to one of the guards and say, could you take us to the bakery, please?
our multi-pass is the 15-foot golem that I'm riding on the
Roll a persuasion check as you hand him your papers, as he gives you a interested look at this massive golem made out of bones, and he knows that undead and undeath are not exactly the best. As he
If I
looks
could
you up and down, what?
If I could just get my natural 20s to be the first fucking roll.
Yeah,
I
seriously.
mean, you're still rolling pretty good.
Yeah, all right. I can give you a little walk.
Thank you.
But I ain't buying you any pastry.
No, it's okay. You look great today. I'll buy you a pastry.
Oh, well. In that case,
That'll be
persuasion
70 platinum.
You rolled a natural 20 on your persuasion then when you roll it with advantage.
Yeah.
So he guides you over to the bakery shop where you had visited before, that you know is really a kind of a speakeasy sort of area where the different elite of the town or the city of Embla are currently housed at. And he chooses, of course, one of the most expensive donuts. It's the one with the good cream filling in the inside. But it's about, I'd say, 8 copper pieces.
Okay. I buy him 2.
Okay. 1 silver, 6 copper. But you guys eventually make your way upstairs, do the knock, do the opening of the door, which is really a wall, and it leads more to another set of stairs, and you are eventually in the presence of the different superiors of Embla, specifically Mia of Embla. And as you guys look around, Mia says, where did you come from? We expected
Where
to
did you
hear from
go?
you.
Where did you come from, Cotton Eye
No,
Joe?
no, no.
I did not expect you to return this fast. Is everything all right?
Super good. I learned that I can open portals in plants, which makes it faster for us to travel. Really fun.
It's pretty amazing, actually.
All right. Well, that can definitely come in handy. How many people can you transport?
Well, it only stays open for like roughly 5 to 6 seconds. So I guess it depends on how
It's a
many people you
blink.
can shove through it.
Seems pretty small. Probably only your group and this massive bone golem that's outside as he peeks out the window looking outside.
To be fair, you can run 30 feet in 6 seconds, so you could have 30 feet of people in a line.
A conga line.
Conga line of people through a tree. What a sight.
All right. Well, why have you returned?
So we perhaps might have done something, and we just kind of need you guys to tell us that it's okay, because otherwise my praise kink will cry. Um, so basically, we ran into the Ahool, which I know Stoneholme has a deal with them, obviously. And I'm sure you guys all know that too.
The blood accord.
It was Embla that had the deal. Not
Oh,
Stoneholme.
Enla. Yeah, sorry. Enla had the deal. So we ran into the Ahool, and they were very distraught to hear about Embla. And they knew that Stoneholme itself was really desperate for food to feed all of the refugees, and that they would be very happy to make a similar accommodation.
In exchange for temporary blood servants, we knew that there are a lot of displaced people here that might jump at the opportunity, with the understanding that once the war is over, that they will be free to return to Embla.
And then, of
Alright.
course, the city would get Vvor and to help feed the masses and all.
I actually had a question, Sporelina. That amazing feat that you pulled with the mushrooms outside of the Colid, um, is that something that you can do en masse?
Yeah, I mean, it would take a lot longer, like 8 hours or so, but it would permanently create a much more flourishing garden here. It could feed a lot of people that way.
I was thinking about that because we have to. As far as what you've told us, you can't do the traveling spell again today. So I thought maybe if you're willing, it might be helpful for the people here if their farms are flourishing in this time of need.
I'd be happy to help.
That actually would be rather grateful for, or the people would be rather grateful for that. As for the blood accord, well, did they say they're willing to pay?
Yeah, I believe so. It's under the
Yeah.
same deal as the blood accord. As soon as the just with the exception that they're not permanently bound there.
All right. Well, we can definitely get the word out. Might be able to find some individuals who are willing. And as he says this, you see Blackroot, the individual who you guys were waiting for quite some time, and Embla, just goes, "Ah, the damn Ahool. They were never anything but trouble for me. Never helpful at all. Always just cared about themselves. Fuckers. I don't really trust them, but I
But
guess if it's...
also, they are offering some of their warriors in the fight. So that was the other part of that.
Yeah, I hear ya. Don't exactly trust them, but
I don't either, to be honest.
But to
But
be fair, if they renege on their deal, we'll just go back after the war and kill them. Or at
That's
least
just-
I will. I can't speak for the rest of the group.
I second. It definitely has nothing to do with the war.
There.
Elora warms up her slap in hand.
Stop it. I
Well,
know it's effective, but stop it.
if it brings us one step closer to ridding ourselves of these damn dark elves, these damn Drow, then I think it should be a worthwhile endeavor. Ain't that right, Kaelor?
Yeah.
Damn right.
He just starts seeing him froth at the mouth a little bit.
Yeah.
Kaelor, you seem to be giving off some sort of a smoke, or black smoke coming off of your cloak.
He got a book. It was a choice. Honestly, can you just show me where the farms are? I need 8 hours of disconnect from this world today.
Yeah, just head over to that cave over there, and you'll be good to
Thank
go.
you. Just so you know, it takes 8 hours, so I'm gonna be here for a full fucking 8 hours. That's why I'm like, I kind of need to start it now. Otherwise, I'm not gonna be able to rest at all. Um, and then all the plants in a half-mile radius centered on my point become enriched for 1 year. The plants yield twice the normal amount of food,
Aw.
Okay.
so it'll just double their food intake, which they definitely need right now.
All right, sounds great. What are the rest of you guys doing during this 8-hour?
Rest and
Um,
relaxation.
Some R&R.
Yeah, as much rest and relaxation as you can have, knowing that there's a war brewing on the horizon.
Hey, it's almost like real life.
Can we check with the guard to see if there have been any drow attacks recently
Sure,
in the last few
And-
days that we've been gone?
Yeah, come on.
absolutely.
Maybe there has been. We can finally kill some fucking drow. Yeah, let's find out. Come on.
Kaelor, calm down.
If he could snort drow, he would. I'm pretty confident. I feel confident in saying that.
So-
What's the matter with you? You like the darky knife ears? I don't like the darky knife ears. What's wrong with you?
Kaelor's still deaf.
Oh
He
wait,
can't
that's a
hear
good
any of
point.
Oh, I will lesser restoration Kaelor before I leave.
It is greater restoration.
Nope, lesser restoration gets rid of death.
The curse says it is greater.
'Cause it's a
Oh,
curse.
oh, because it's a curse. Okay, then I will greater restoration him.
Okay. Well, then that was easy. As soon as you guys head out, Sporelina, you go off into the fields to enrich their soil as Kaelor and Elora, and anyone else going to the guard tower.
I'll go with Sporelina just to make sure she's doing okay.
Okay.
If
She's not
if
going to
she
be a lot
wants-
of. I mean, you can. I'm not going to be great company. So if you want to
Oh yeah,
actually,
no,
do,
that's fair. That's fair.
yeah, because the spell basically completely encapsulates me at that time, so I won't be talking or anything.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Never mind.
And Kertz.
I was just trying to be supportive.
I
I'll-
appreciate that.
I'll go with Elora.
All right. As you guys go to the guard tower and start poking around, they just say, sorry, citizen, that is classified information. Don't think we can share that with just anyone, just in case you might be a spy.
Show them your multi-pass.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, Barry, and just have Barry like lift me up onto his shoulders and be like, I think these credentials speak for themselves, as well as your two friends up at the fortress that we fucked up the other day. So perhaps we could get into a style of communication that's beneficial for all the people here whom we've helped save, and you could get off your fucking high horse.
Roll intimidation with advantage.
And
DC
assistance.
of
Or
15.
and inspiration.
Ooh, well, he got 15. All right. And with that, he just says, you know what? You're right. I think you do clear our clearance protocols right this way. As he guides you inside, and you see in the guard room multiple different guards sitting at tables. Some are resting at a bed, at their beds, and other guards are just kind of looking over paperwork. But one of which looks to be like the captain of the guard, with a little bit more adorned, heavy armor with gold plating and such. As he looks up at the group of you, I don't think Barry would be able to come in; it's a little bit too small. But you guys come in, and he looks up to you and goes, "Hello, my name is Captain Roche. What can I help you with?"
Roche, we were just wondering if there had been any attacks in the last. Wait, how long have we been gone? About 5 days, yeah. 5 days since we've been gathering allies.
Interesting. Not particularly attacks, but definitely some activity. I think we're being scouted out. Seems like we've been able to see different individuals outside of the gates of Stoneholme, and I think they're either planning something or trying to see our weaknesses or weak points.
And they have not been dealt with then.
No, we only rarely open our gates. We check everyone that comes through. It's only for about an hour a day that we let people in, and we make sure that our armies are very close indeed, stationed at the gates. So we want to make sure that that occurs. But there might be cracks that they'll be able to sift through. We try to screen every person that comes in, but more and more come each day. It's getting harder and harder.
Have you do you have magic users that have gone amongst the refugee camps with being able to see through illusions?
We are able to do that, yes, but the amount of resources that spends is just too great. We tried to scan randomly, but it's definitely not enough to cover all of the percentage of new populace. Maybe only 5-10% at most, which isn't that much. You're welcome to leave and go check out outside the gates. See if you can find anything. Report anything you find. And if there are Drow, you can certainly deal with them. Don't think anyone will listen.
Well, I mean, we do have a little bit of time before Sporelina's done with her her spell. Do we want to go see if we can find anything for these people?
I don't see why it wouldn't hurt.
Yeah. Fine by me.
All right. Well, yeah. If you can give us, is there a writ you can supply us with to have them let us in and out of the gate?
I can do that. You'll be honorarily members of the Stoneholme Guard. So let me sign this right here. Hold on. Hey, Jimmy, run this over to the palace. Get it signed by the king,
Jimmer!
and then come on back quickly. As you see this younger dwarf. Yeah, all right, I can do that. And he runs out the door with the writ. He'll return in about 5-10 minutes. But otherwise, unless you guys are doing anything else, Jimmy returns with the writ signed, and you are able to come and go from Stoneholme for today only for what the writ is written on it. That way, after today, you'll have to find a new writ. Otherwise, if this gets stolen or you get killed and it gets taken, then they do not want it to be in the hands of people who might use it for other reasons.
All right, let's make our way through Refugee Town. And maybe we could all be on high alert as we're walking through the refugees for anybody that looks suspicious.
Yep.
All right, so you guys begin heading through the town, the refugee town, and go ahead and make insight checks.
Don't mind if I do.
Elora,
Oh God.
Finally rolling something good.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
very good. All right, so Cinna and Elora. As you look through the crowd, you can see many people look upset, sad, just not having a good time, and you can tell that pretty easily. But some individuals, some that look human, seem to have a nervousness about them, a little bit different from the crowd around them. And both you, Elora, and Cinna notice this human almost immediately, kind of sitting off in a small tent, kind of tapping his fingers, looking left, looking right. It has a nervousness that the rest of the crowd just does not share. Whatever you want to do with that information is up to you.
You said like he's sitting in a tent.
Yeah, small little tent, just a makeshift with a bedroll inside.
I'm gonna like look at Kertz and Senna and Kaelor and like put my fingers together and then like circle them around where they touch the opposite ends. So like be like, let's approach this tent from either side.
Yep, I'll do it.
Okay.
I go around.
Okay, you guys go around. What do you guys do?
Hello there, friend.
Hi, can I help you, lady?
Yes, I was just wondering, what's got your knickers in a twist?
Oh, nothing, nothing at all. Just worried about everything happening in Stoneholme right now, of course.
Of course, of course. Where do you hail from?
I came from Embla, just a traveling merchant that kind of caught up in all this. So,
What district of Emblem?
oh, that's a great question. I actually just kind of stayed in some of the taverns. The Drunken Tavern was one of them.
The Drunken Tavern?
This is the DM mistake, not his mistake.
Oh, okay.
The Drunken Tabard, is that what it's called?
But Embla is a while.
Yeah, Embla felt forever ago.
Embla locations.
The Hammered Tavern.
Hammered
The
Tavern.
Hammered Tavern.
Oh, I love the Hammer Tavern, yeah. You know the proprietor, Josiah.
I do not actually. I just kind of stayed for at nights. I never really partake in any of the frivolities. I was there on business,
Oh,
but
did
then
they
that got kind of trashed.
did they have you in the Crimson Room or the Azure Room or which room were you?
I honestly couldn't even remember. I usually got in pretty late from work that day, so I just kind of crashed.
Oh yeah, working. What do you do for work?
I'm a merchant, so I've been trying to broker deals and get my clients all in a row, and
Oh yeah.
we would
What
go
do
to
you
the
sell?
trade gondola. I've been trying to sell just a few different magic items that I've been trying to get off my wares for some time now, but I'm actually, you might know her, Gal Powers. She was a employer of mine. She would send me down here on little errands to clear some inventory.
All I'm saying is that Inara gets a one-time, one-day writ to be a part of the guard, and she just turns evil.
You just called me our dog's name, by the way.
Yeah, I was wondering what's going on.
Sorry. I'm looking at Inara, so my bad.
What kind of wares? Perhaps we might be interested.
Oh, sure, yeah. Hold on, and he goes inside the tent and grabs a bag of holding, opens it up and starts to pour it over, and just says, "These are actually kind of on clearance, so if you want them, Gal just wants to get rid of them, and
Do
we'll
we
sell
know?
them
Do
at
we
a
know this
good
gal
bargain.
person? I the name doesn't ring true to me.
Yes, you do. So let me roll up her. Do you recall her from while you guys were in Rybelka and the
Oh, yep, I
caravan?
recognize her.
So that is the caravan owner, and
We-
she would broker you some good stuff.
And we don't recognize this guy from the caravan.
You do not. You do not.
Can I get a sense as to if this guy is nervous because this is all hot merchandise that he stole from her, or if there's something else like lurking underneath?
Make an insight check. Go to the secondary voice channel.
Oh boy.
Secrets.
Oh no.
You're pretty certain that he is not nervous about anything that he's trying to sell you, but he is trying to hide something. He seems nervous about just whatever he is hiding, and has nothing to do with this. In fact, he's very happy that you're interested in the magic items because it changes the subject. That like as soon as he said something like that, he was like, oh,
Does he look like he's human?
yeah, he's human.
Okay. Can I just sort of like reach over and looking at the items, I put my hand on his shoulder, just like nonchalantly looking down at the items, and then can I reach up and like touch his ears and see if there's an illusory missing portion of his ear where like he would have pointed ears?
Let's go to the regular chat for that. All right. So, Elora, what do you do?
So as he pours his items onto the table, Laura just sort of like nonchalantly like looms up to his side and like places a hand on his shoulder as she's looking at the items, and then her hand sort of wanders up and like her thumb brushes against the top of his ear to see if there's like an illusory portion of his human quote unquote ear, if he actually has like elven.
As you do that, he kind of like twitches a little bit and goes, "Oh, I actually really love when people play with my ears." And it does not feel illusory at all, but it looks like he was enjoying that for a moment.
Okay.
If you want, you're welcome to like kind of pull it a little bit, maybe a scratch or two behind. It actually is really sensational. But why were you doing that? Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Why are you touching me?
Oh, you reminded me of someone. Actually, you kind of reminded me of, and I'm gonna pull out. Hold on, I have to open up my character sheet. I'm gonna pull out the head of a Chuck and toss it down on the table next to his magic item.
What is this? I'm just trying to sell you stuff. Why are you throwing a head in front of me?
I'm gonna like whistle to the rest of the group to enter into the tent. Be like, let's cut the bullshit and let's start playing nice with each other here, huh?
Roll intimidation. Kaelor, were you gonna say something?
Oh, I was gonna try to get clarification. So is this are they Drow or not? Because
They're human.
Okay. Because that's what I thought, but then I was going off the picture and I was like, wait a second.
No, he works for Gal Powers. I almost said Gal got it.
Gal
Okay.
Yeah.
He works for Wonder Woman?
My mind is always on about her. Anyway, so yeah, he is human, and with that 23 intimidation, because you threw a head at him, he just goes, I don't know anything. I swear, I don't know anything. I know nothing. I'm just here on business.
I'll look at Kertz.
No. I was clearing my throat. Sorry.
All right. Well, clearly I don't believe you. You're nervous about something, and that makes me really nervous. And I'm gonna reach down and break one of his fingers.
Okay. Okay, he reaches into the bag of holding and pulls out what looks to be a device, a canister, if you will, with a symbol of a spider that you recognize immediately. This
nerve
they gave
gas.
it to me. They gave it to me outside of Stoneholme. They threatened me and they said bring this in and everything would be fine and then I'd be able to let go. That's it. That's all they did.
Where were they when they gave this to you?
Just outside of Stoneholme. I was heading from Embla. I was alone. I was just trying to get to Stoneholme by myself, and they stopped me. And I thought I was gonna die, but I didn't die. And they gave me this.
Why didn't you hand it over to the fucking guards, you fucking twat? And I'm gonna break another finger.
I was worried that they were gonna arrest me. I didn't know. I didn't know what this is. I was too worried. I didn't know. It was a really bad place, and I just don't want anything to happen to me.
Oh, I'll let you live. Captain Kertz, confiscate his items.
Okay.
Wait, you're gonna take?
I break another finger.
Okay.
Oh my god.
We're not getting another pass after this.
No, we're not.
Is
Honorary
anyone-
guard, my ass.
Is anyone else besides Sporelina proficient in like a poisoner's kit or alchemy kit?
Let me check.
No, but I can hurt people real good.
Nope. But if we wanted to play a game of cards, be great
I
at
know.
that.
I could play chess. Let's see. I don't think anything's high enough for me to get any kind of good read on this thing. Yeah. Shit. And I can't interrupt her ritual. All right. Kertz and I are gonna look at this. Can I get some bardic inspiration from Cinnamoira?
Yeah, you should still have the well.
Well, that's only 10 minutes. I figured it's been longer.
Yeah, I can give you some more bardic inspiration. Don't worry, honey.
And what would this be? A medicine, nature check, just a straight wisdom check? What would it be to try and identify what's in this canister?
I'd allow a Arcana.
Ooh, Kaelor. What about you, Kurtz? I have nothing for Arcana.
I'm pretty good with Arcana.
You can't bardic inspire yourself.
I can guide
No,
her.
but
Guidance.
Oh, that's right.
It's not much, but it's honest work.
What about you, Kaelor?
Nope. Arcana is not my strong suit.
Okay. So I will. And we are gonna move to a location far away from as many people as possible. That guidance.
People.
Ooh, nice.
woo!
Very nice. All right. So as you look over this canister, you identify, of course, the seal of the House of Gullion. That's pretty obvious. But what isn't obvious are the runes surrounding this canister. As you kind of give it a what do you call it? Like a shake. It's completely empty from what you can tell. But you identify these runes, Cinnamoira, as runes that have to do with conjuration specifically. You believe that this has to do with yeah, I think I'm just gonna leave it at that. Conjuration. Because this is an item and you didn't cast identify on it, but you know that the runes have to do with conjuration. Powerful conjuration. Very powerful. We're talking 7th level or higher conjuration.
Jesus.
Oh, that's bad.
Kaelor, can you identify this?
Let's find out. Probably not.
You have the spell identify, I think is what was he asking.
No, I do not.
Yeah.
Did you?
But no wizards this campaign. Well, shit. As far as we know, are any of the council members magic users?
You do recall the individual who's Clan Hanzus, Taror Hanzus. She is the leader of kind of the spies that Kaelor has been interacting with a lot lately. So you think that she might have a hand in said magics?
Senna, do you have the availability to send her a message so that we don't have to move through the town with this thing and have her meet us far away from people so she might identify this?
Give me 1 second, cause I need to check if I have enough spell slots.
I don't like
Well,
this at all.
no, that is a Trojan horse in a can.
Yeah, I can definitely send her something. What would you like me to send her?
Um,
Just, hey, we found something. Can you meet us? And this is not the real thing.
Okay.
yeah,
Just,
I would assume like we're like way the fuck down here, like outside of the area of the refugee camps, like
Yeah, you're right over here.
yeah. We're like going as far out as possible away from people. I'm like, meet us by the large crystalline spire in the north end of the refugee camp, and if you and to identify a magic item, that's it.
okay. I repeat everything Elora just said.
High sec-
Hey, high security. Um, how do you pronounce her name again?
Or Hanzus.
Or Hansus?
Or Hanzus.
Okay. So sending this to her. Hi, it's Cinna. Can you meet us at the Crystalline Spire in the northernmost part of the refugee camp? We found something that you might want to come look at. It's high security, very magical. Please hurry and be discreet. I'm sure that was more than 25 words.
Roll persuasion, because she is a very busy woman and
Okay.
she has a lot to go on, and she might determine that this is very worth her time.
I
This is
don't fuck
very worth
around
her
when I
time.
say we need your assistance.
And do you guys leave this individual, the merchant, just kind of hanging out in his tent, or what?
I think we should bring him along.
yeah.
Maybe he
Uh,
could
Why?
explain a thing or two.
As we were leaving the tent area, I would say we'd probably hand him off to a guard and tell them to hold him.
On what authority? He's a free citizen.
I'm gonna hold up our pass for being part of the guard.
Well, very well.
The power! It goes to my head.
Ultimate power.
All right.
Multi-pass.
Did we search the entire refugee camp, or was that just one guy we found and stopped first?
One guy.
Just one guy, but you didn't search the whole thing because you weren't. I mean, were you just like combing the entire thing, or were you?
Yes.
Do you?
That would have taken a little bit longer time.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
if we haven't, then I was going to say I can continue to
Stay
search
back
the
and
rest of it. Yeah.
well, if you and Cinna want to go do that brother and sister style, that she might be able to help you find something. Kaelor and I can hang back and deal with the item issue.
We picked.
Do I have to?
Of course, my love.
No, I'm just joking. Come on, let's go and do something.
Yeah, I get to be bad cop now.
He's like, ooh, those fingers looked so tasty. I wanted to put them on a neck.
Yeah.
Yum, 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 yum.
All right. So, where are you guys heading? So you're just gonna wait for her?
Kaelor and I are waiting, and then Cinna and Kertz are gonna go and do a walkthrough of the refugee camp.
All right. Cinna and Kurt, go ahead and give me an insight checks.
All right, second time around. Fuck you.
Okay.
Guide yourself.
Eh,
Yeah. You know what? I might as well.
Okay. As you go through the rest of the crowd over the next several minutes, just kind of combing the area, no one really comes up to you or comes to your mind as someone who's potentially an issue. So, but you're otherwise, you feel okay about it.
Then we'll head back to
Okay.
the crystal sculpture.
just kind of make a swoop around and then casually make our way back to over where we were saying everyone was going to be.
All right.
Cool.
I should also mention the items that were kind of dropped.
Confiscated.
Stolen. We're all being really
Confiscated.
honest. We're gonna have to write an apology letter to Gal.
I'm putting confiscated in quotes in my notes. Ooh, 2 good luck stones.
Yeah, you guys know what that looks like because it's already a part of your stuff.
Propeller helm. It's got to give you like the levitate for once a day or something.
And
So we're selling these back to Gale, right?
Yeah, I don't think I need to be on anyone else's bad list per se.
and this last one.
Wow, guys, this is a lot of money we just stole from that poor guy.
What he gets for fucking being a
He's had
Trojan horse.
he's
Sketch
had a bad day.
So you guys wait for a little bit longer for Tor Hanzus by the spire crystal in the top part of the northern corridor. And she eventually gets there and she just kind of rushes up to you and just says, "Now, what's this all about? I heard you found something that needed identification. Sounds serious."
Yeah, we didn't want to speak the locals or the guests, but this has the potential to be very bad news for Stoneholme, and I'm gonna hand her the case.
All right, stand back for a minute. And she casts, she takes out her pearl, and you can see her cast the identify spell. And as she does, she goes and puts her hand to her mouth, and she goes, "The spells held within this container, teleportation spells."
That's how they got into Embla so easily.
Essentially, this is
Hear
a
me
ticking
out.
time.
You put it in a vat of acid, and then when they and then
Yeah,
when they teleport in.
Is there any kind of geothermal around?
Listen, if I had to guess, they're probably scrying on this as well. And they'll probably scry on it as soon as, right before they teleport in. I don't know if they're even seeing us right now. They could be. But we need to be extra careful and think quickly of what we're going to do with this.
I'd like to rub it on my nuts.
Is there a place we could destroy it?
I have no idea. It's possibly we could do it in a forge. Forge of fire, magical fire. But I'm not even quite sure about that. But if we do, we have to do it quickly. Either get it out of Stoneholme, or to get it somewhere we can destroy it. And if they so
Whatever.
easily got this in here, who knows if it could be even more than just this one.
Yes, I think perhaps general alert should go out, and the people should be told if they were given anything that looks like this, that they should hand it into the guard immediately. There's the person we found this out didn't seem to be an agent of them, just seemed to be there for his life.
See,
Well, shit. There's no real way to. Where are we gonna put it? We put it outside the gate, and then they have an army at the outside of the gate. Like, it doesn't. We need to get it the fuck out of here. Perhaps could we put it in? How
don't
many-
think that this will bring an army. Probably up to 10 people at most.
Well,
But,
10 people can do a
but
lot of
again-
damage depending where they're at.
Exactly.
kind of, Cinna just kind of waves her hand awkwardly, like, yeah.
Put it in a
Not
bag of
even a-
holding. When they jump in, it rips it, and they get weep.
They're
Well,
also
bag of
wouldn't-
holding is in a demi-plane. They would not be able to teleport in, I don't think.
yeah, they wouldn't be able to scry in it either. Yeah, well, we have a bag of holding. We have the dude's bag of holding, so let's put it back in there right now.
We're just
Alright.
gonna put you away.
All right. Well, we can put that in there for now, but this is definitely a security breach. I don't know what we'll have to do, but this is not looking good.
Kertz, do you have the ability? Do you have the ability to make your voice very loud? Besides just yelling, of course.
Uh, no,
Thaumaturgy.
Yeah,
no.
I figured.
I was just moving to my spell list. I wasn't sure if I did. Give me a long rest, and I can.
Is there
Right now, I can't.
is there a town crier or a town crier service we could make use of?
I'm sure there is. Yes, we could probably find several. Make our way through the crowds in the city.
All right, give us a few hours and we can start getting this together. All right.
All right. We'll definitely let you do that. Oh no!
Puppy to the door.
Pizza's there.
Pizza's here. So here's the idea: is we'll pay off some town criers, and we will, once Sporelina is done plant growing, use Skywrite, pump some smoke into the air, use Skywrite to show the general outline of this thing, and have the town criers basically decree, like, 15 gold for anyone who turns one of these in.
Ooh.
50 gold for anyone who turns one of these in.
That's going to bankrupt this place.
Only if there's
That's
a lot of
money.
them. We can pay out 50 gold for one of these things. I doubt that they have hundreds of these things in here. They seem like it's a pretty hefty magical item. It would cost a lot to create one of these, let alone 100.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's say 30 gold for anybody that turns one of these things into the guards.
All right. We can get on that immediately. So then we'll just inform the guards and tell them to keep it quiet for now until we make the announcement of the reward. But definitely keep your head low. We don't know who might be spying on us. As she puts a hand on Kaelor's shoulder, and she just says, "Hopefully our mission is successful."
Hopefully.
She begins to walk away.
Can I do an
Well,
insight check on her?
Sure.
Spy. You never know who they're working for. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
There's still a
Aw.
chance. There's still a chance. There is no chance.
You tried. A for
If I
effort.
guide myself.
I don't know if that's
She has
going
an
to do
18,
much.
so no.
Yeah. No.
Can I roll an insight check on the hand touch?
Sure.
All right.
She trying to smash.
Oof. Oof.
It'll be she seems trustworthy. She's one of the council.
Yep. Nothing
Uh,
odd here.
all right. So what are you guys doing? Are you guys gonna go get Sporelina or what?
I think that would probably be a good idea.
Well, wait for her to finish and then.
Well, we would go meet with her if she was done, then we'd go. But I think if she wasn't, we would hang out for a little bit, keep her company. Or maybe that's just me.
I assume you guys will go and keep her company.
I mean,
So-
I'm
Keep
going.
company. Sorry, Jeremy's getting pizza and I'm making spam masubi, so we were both
it-
not able to click the phone.
So it was pizza. That was a good guess.
Yeah, Jeremy ordered pizza.
Nice.
All right, so you guys head back over to where Sporelina is stationed, and you can see her waving around her magic staff and such. And as she is doing so, she sees you and continues on. But you could probably talk, Sporelina, maybe briefly.
Just
What do you guys say?
Hey, what's up, sluts? Sporelina
Oh.
is butt naked, by the way. She has taken off all her clothes, and her feet are like planted to the ground, basically up to her knees.
Mm.
Is there a difference between clothes and no clothes? I mean, it's a fungus.
Yeah, I wear real clothes. I wear like normal clothes. I mean, she wears like mini skirts and tube tops, but she still wears clothes.
I think he meant in the style of the spell being cast.
It just kind of makes
just the
sense for her to be
spice.
naked. One with nature.
It just
She's
adds a little spice.
a little
It-
spice.
He was more referring to what Mark found attractive.
Because she's
You-
tall and got big boobs.
Makes sense.
Yeah, we have a bit of a security issue here that once you're done, we'd definitely love to use your help. It's been very handy to
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
I am one with the ground is one with me.
Are we seriously just gonna watch our buck ass friend just grow a shit ton of mushrooms?
She casts Entangle and starts undressing everybody. If you're gonna be here, you're gonna help. I am one with nature.
Barry starts dancing.
You act like Kertz wouldn't just do it out of.
I know. That's what she casts Entangle, starts undressing everyone but Kertz because she just knows. Kertz
She's
is like
already
a chance
halfway.
to get naked.
Hell, I'd fight naked if it wouldn't kill me.
Spell is cast.
All right. So, over the next several hours, you all help Sporelina to fertilize the area surrounding. However you
what are the
interpret that is your interpretation.
What are the chances of like a bunch of 20-something dwarves who are like really into partying seeing this and like it just becomes a rave?
Sure. let's call
I'm just
that.
thinking all of like the farmers are just gonna be like, oh, is this what we have to do for our crops? And everybody starts burying themselves and getting naked and dancing.
Great, you've started a cult. Nice.
It's a religion.
Who's the head priest then? Priestess.
I'm pretty
bad-
sure
bad
that's
guy.
It's
Sporelina.
me.
All right. Over the course of the next few hours, you are able to finish said rite. And as you finish, the farmers thank you so much and continue on their way to collect their harvest, which is now twice the size as it was before. So, what are you all doing?
Contemplating life's decisions to join this, because I really didn't think I was going to be, buck ass nude and seeing my brother's buck ass nude.
We're gonna grab a bunch of the like mushroom runoff, the stuff that they can't use, and just pile it into Barry's arms and bring it out to the like right here. and just start like a massive fire burning the bits of mushrooms, so this like dark black smoke starts rising up, and then
Oh
turn
God.
turn to Sporelina and give her a nod.
But what does it look like?
I sort of open up the bag of holding and let you look inside.
Okay, got it. Wow, this is a spell that I really like never thought I'd ever use, but here we are. Do I need anything for this spell? Let's see. That's just a part of the sky I can see. You see Sporelina just start waving her hands around fanatically, kind of like she's using a very large etch-a-sketch, and it actually carves the symbol into the sky like an etch-a-sketch does, and then you see her mess up and she has to like shake her hands and the whole thing erases and then she tries it again.
Nice.
I love that.
And
Just shit.
as the symbol shows up, that will be the signal for the town criers to start.
All right, and as they begin shouting out, "Canister found in the town! If you have it, 30 gold pieces! Do not accept any baggage from other travelers! Do not, if you see a baggage, please inform any kind of guard to its location. Do
You just
not
instilled the
accept
TSA.
Exactly.
All the brown
Uh,
people are getting searched really thoroughly.
Oh God. So you guys spread the word, and after about an hour, 3 individuals come up to the guards and hand them a canister.
I break all their fingers.
Do you?
Jeremy!
But do you pay them?
Pay them out. Yeah, absolutely.
They all seem to be merchants, travelers, and individuals that just
Do they seem
got
slightly shaken and kind of ashamed?
they don't know what it is, but they can assume a few things. They look like they tried to turn a blind eye to it and just
Got
like
it.
didn't want any trouble, and just yeah, I'm sure they are a little ashamed, but at the same time, they had no choice. They were gonna die or they could take it. So
Well, and they're being rewarded, so it's not like it's all in vain.
you guys now have 4 canisters in your bag of holding. You're gonna need to spend 90 gold pieces, please.
I'll donate 30.
Oh, we have party funds for it.
It's just from our party funds.
Oh,
That's fine.
okay, okay, okay.
Does anybody have the ability, whether or not it's today, does anybody have the ability to cast the locate objects?
Yes.
Maybe tomorrow. I mean, assuming there aren't other ones out there right now that are gonna pop in the middle of the night, and we're gonna have to fucking deal with them. Perhaps tomorrow before we leave, we could just pop one of these off in the refugee camp and see what happens.
You should also tell the town guards to search people pretty thoroughly on the way in.
Especially since now they know exactly what it looks like.
The joys of being a refugee.
Did we want to go
I'm
fuck
able
up
to
some
cast.
drow too?
I'm able to cast locate objects right now.
Oh, sweet.
And it's concentration up to 10 minutes, and it's within 1,000 feet of me. So I'll cast it, and I'll just start kind of like trotting around town to see if
I'll
anything
have
goes
Barry
off.
trot you around. He's faster than you.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. As Barry trots you around, over the course of the next 10 minutes, you are fairly certain that all the canisters have been
Sweet.
taken in.
Well worth a second level spell slot, because that's all that locate objects is. But you see Sporelina's face. Guys, I've done a lot in the last like 8 hours. I'm very tired.
Do you want to take a Mimi's?
I would really like to take a Mimi's, but if
You cut out there, babe.
Oh, sorry. But if we can't, I can soldier through because I'm tough and beautiful and blonde. Okay, I'm not blonde, but
was
I
gonna
am
say,
beautiful.
what?
And very
I mean,
fibrous.
you're not wrong, but what? You're blonde?
No, I'm actually technically a redhead if you think about it, because I have a red cap.
That's fair.
I'm a ginger. You guys could have been making some ginger jokes at me this whole time, and you've missed the
Well, I'm also a
opportunity.
ginger.
Or we're just kind.
Well, if we make one ginger joke, I'm afraid. I'm kind of a little bit afraid of Elora. I'm going to be honest.
There you go.
Yeah.
As you should.
Well, the only thing is we also have this pass to get outside to try and find these drow fuckers that are handing out these canisters in the first place. So, if you're tapped, you're tapped. But we do have just the pass for today.
I'm not tapped. I'm just tired, so I can help.
You want to just stay on Barry and chill out, and you don't have to move your legs or anything.
Yes, please.
All right. We're gonna find the dude that got that I broke 4 of his fingers, and have him show us on a rough sketch where he encountered these people. And can we corroborate that with the other 3 people as well?
Sure. So I'll roleplay this individual as you approach. He goes, "Oh, damn it, not again! I swear, I told you everything."
And you still got.
Okay.
Oh my
okay.
God.
Elora, please.
Elora.
I'll
I'm
also
gonna
kind of make the necklace that I'm wearing a little
cast
bit more
healing.
known.
I'm gonna cast healing
No.
word on this guy and fix his fingers. I'm so sorry. Normally, I don't leave my dog unattended.
Oh look, now he's got 10.
Roll intimidation
I-
with advantage.
I give up. I give up.
Hey, this is war. We gotta do what we gotta do.
19. All right. He just goes, okay. I will tell you anything you need to know. I'll even tell you what all these magic items are. Just don't break any more fingers.
All right. Well, I turned to Kertz and be like, "That fucking worked a lot better than I thought it was going."
If it works, it works. Hey, people like their fingers. They don't like losing them, apparently.
I want you to show us where you encountered these.
All right.
You cut out.
Well, it's maybe several miles away from the entrance of Stoneholme. Just follow the path toward the long road, and it'll be right there, right at the fork.
I'd like to see if we all have traveling clothes. So can we all put on what am I looking for? Our long cloaks and stuff to sort of cover all of our gear and everything. And can I go around and see if one of the refugees has a cart that I can borrow from them, rent from them?
Confiscate from them?
Confiscate. I have the badge.
You could certainly ask. Roll a persuasion check as you go up to a random person and just ask them for it. 13. They don't like the idea, and they just say, "Listen, bub, if you got any cash, then absolutely. But I'm kind of using this cart for my family's belongings, so."
How's 30 gold saying?
Well, fuck, keep it.
Oh, you clearly didn't need that much.
That's all right.
30 gold is a lot of money, guys.
Well, it's all. There's also
It really is.
heavy inflation right now
is.
too.
It
That's
is,
true.
but at the same time, it's just you handed it over so quickly.
I mean, if someone came to you and said, "Give me your computer for $1 million," or even if
that
it
the
was
exchange
$10,000, no, it's like $10,000. It would be like the equivalent of 10,000.
I guess, but still, just
Yeah, I would say yes. you know,
Technically,
so
I have
I
better
get it.
computer.
Technically, it's only twice the cost of what a cart would normally cost. So,
Oh, okay.
so yeah, that's fine. And I'm gonna have Barry.
You could
Sorry, have Barry drag the cart behind us and sort of like make ourselves look like merchants leaving Stone.
Sporelina's very upset by this because she never covers up this delectable lanky body, but for us, I guess I will.
I like the idea too. As Sporelina is riding Barry, little tiny mushrooms are like popping through the bone areas and like feeding off the blood. So they're all coming like these blood red capped mushrooms.
Yeah, Sporelina's just turning him into a vegan.
I don't think he minds.
To be fair, he doesn't eat people; he just absorbs them like a mushroom.
Like an
And he uses all of the parts of the body.
Precisely.
We just leave the body.
He's very
for him.
resourceful.
And yeah, we'll head out to make us to the area that we have corroborated is where people have been being stopped by the Drow.
All right. And as you guys head out, on your hunt and your search, going towards the long road on this desolate part of the underworld, the upper part of the upper world, I'm going to need a skill challenge. Go ahead and, after I send you over this way, go ahead and put on your tokens and roll initiative, and we will do a skill challenge again. Natural 1. That's an Elora roll.
There it is.
Sorry, I'm rolling spam masubi.
You're doing what?
I'm making spam masubi. It's like
What is-
spam sushi, basically.
Oh,
I've
oop.
never heard of that.
It's
Sounds
delicious.
interesting.
It's really popular in Hawaii.
Why, yeah, I was just gonna say. The one thing I
say.
didn't try down there.
Spam? Not a
It's
huge
so
fan.
fucking addictive.
Not a fan of spam.
I love spam. I like spam, scrapple, anything that is fake meat. I want it in my mouth.
I mean, it's not fake meat. It's just heavily processed.
Right.
Fake meat.
It's
Fake
basically a,
meat.
It's not
a
fake
big hot
meat.
dog.
Okay, there it
Fake
goes.
meat is the stuff that people make out of plants and try to pass it as meat.
By the way,
Amen, sister.
I love me an Impossible Whopper.
Are they good?
Burger King, you
I'm
can
not
sponsor
saying
us.
they're not good. I'm just
I
saying
think they
that's
stink
fake
so
meat.
bad. I can't
Alright.
eat them because of their smell. Sorry.
You guys are about to eat a Drow Whopper. So, Cinna, what are you doing in order to find these Drow in this Underdark? Now, again, you're still traversing, so you can still use things that help you traverse and make your way through, but you're also trying to track down said Drow.
Well,
And
shit.
also, there might also be some interactions with some merchants making their way towards Stoneholme.
Making their way.
So also keep that in mind. You could use like a charisma-based check, such as intimidation or persuasion, and things like that, or an insight. But just keep that in mind. This is again abstract. We're trying to build the world around us. So Cinna, what would you like to do?
I mean, if we're going to be passing other merchants, I'm going to probably try to convince them to give us any information they might have of any news about any Drow sightings that
Or
they've
if
heard
they've
about.
been handed a canister.
Yeah, or if they've been handed any kind of weird canisters.
All right. Is there anything that you do to persuade them more?
I say I'll give them a gold piece
Okay.
for information.
All right. Go ahead and roll that roll. Ooh, very nice. All right, that is a success, Kertz.
How many gold pieces do I lose?
With that, just 2.
Okay.
I'm going to check the area, see if there's any like hidden areas that the Drow might have hidden in. As like we pass by, maybe they figured out who we are at this point.
So you perception?
Yes.
All right. Do you have dark vision?
No, but I have advantage.
So you have a straight roll.
Yes.
All right. Womp. Okay, as
Beans.
a fail, Kaelor. You're muted.
Only option here would be, oh god, I guess perception, because there's possibly Drow about, and I need to murder the Drow. Murder the Drow. Find the Drow, and then murder the Drow. That is the only options.
You're a simple man.
All right, that is a secondary fail. Sporelina.
We need a more proficient group, guys.
I can't do much.
Oh,
Would
Oh.
animal handling count with Barry? As I'm like just growing mushrooms on him and making Barry really just try to feel good about himself, and I'm really helping him lead the way. Look less intimidating, so people don't get scared when they walk past us.
Ends up looking more like
Uh,
a shambling mound than an undead golem.
Right.
So really quick, Kaelor, another thing that you could have done would have been intimidation. You were passing merchants and stuff, so just keep that in mind. Like
yeah.
look at your skills, see if what you can use to your highest ability to really help you out. As for that animal handling check for Barry,
I'm being creative, Jesse.
you are, and I like it. Sucks.
The other thing could be you could do maybe nature to as you're like disguising him with your nature.
Or
That's true.
performance, because you're kind of putting on a flower display or a mushroom
Maybe
display.
maybe let's stay away from performance. Let's nature.
All right, I'll allow animal handling or nature.
Okay, they're both the same for me, I think.
Because I did say before that, like, if you're handling mushrooms, I will still allow an animal handling check because mushrooms are aplenty
talk
in
to
this
them.
campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah. 21.
Yes.
Okay. And Elora, bring us home.
Well, I will intimidate any merchants that seem shady and into giving up information and or canisters that they've been handling.
Okay.
Or
13.
fucking not.
I'm literally
Alright.
the only one doing my job here. Or just
Boy.
kidding, Cinna is too.
I was gonna say.
All right, as you try to intimidate, and you are quite intimidating, but they just kind of run away from you, kind of scared a little bit. They don't really tell you any information, and they just run away from you in that sense. As for Cinna, you're so sweet. You're so kind to other individuals that you pass by, and you're able to get some information that maybe there is some sort of a shady individuals near the fork in the road where the long road meets the road to Stoneholme. As for Kertz, your perception check, there's so much freaking dust in your eyes at this point, and the fungi and all the spores that you guys created while you were dancing, you still have the eye crusties from that, so it's really hard. Same with you, Kaelor. It's just really difficult for you to see anything with all those eye crusties. And then Sporelina, on fucking point with your mushroom decorations on Barry. Looks
He looks
beautiful.
beautiful.
You
Oh.
and Cinnamoira are doing such a good job just like combining your strengths of just beauty and kindness, and people are really enjoying it. They don't even realize that he's a shambling mound of bodies.
He's really a sweet boy.
This is Barry. He is a new kind of mushroom. He's very special, and he's really good at recycling. Aren't you, Barry?
Would you say he's very special?
Yes. He's very special at recycling, and that is definitely Barry, not Bury.
But as you guys continue on and you get to a portion in the caves, you are a little bit too distracted by Cinnamoira and Sporelina and Barry just having a grand old time that you didn't realize that you walked straight into an ambush.
Of
And
course we did.
that is where we will end today's session.
Oh
Great.
boy.
Jesse needs an ambush map for
Oh.
next week, baby.
I will. Yeah, I mean, you're welcome to make it. Sure. All right. So
They're
ambush.
ambushed in here with us, not with us.
Yep, that's how it
Yeah,
works.
something like that.
All right. So, thank you all so much, and thank you for those of you who are watching. And we will return next week with a nice map made by a very famous map maker and very expensive map
Famous.
maker.
Incredibly
Map maker. But thank you guys so much, and that is that. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Do that, yeah. Yep. Subscribe. Amazon Prime subscribe.